if I could find one good coin a show.
Yeah.
So I start to build this set. And I build a Standing Liberty quarter set. In the meantime, PCGS is thriving.
Yeah.
It's young, but it's thriving. So man, I really haven't done the graded coins. You know, ANX had their paper grades. PCGS had the slabs. NGC came in, you know, just shortly after.
It's all like happened really
and
quickly.
It's all happened
Very quickly.
all at one time.
Yeah.
And then ANX starts slabbing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, you know, I've got these groups. Teletrade comes on, and you know, there's all kind of options now. Of course, Heritage is having their big sales, their big auctions. So I start going to Heritage auctions and buying coins raw, and on Teletrade I'm buying coins the lower mint state 60 and 61 stuff, and breaking the coins out and putting them in my set, because I know now they're uncirculated. So I'm breaking them out and putting them on my set. They've done the grading for me.
Sure.
And then once I come to a big show where ANX is, I'm showing them all the stuff that I've broken out of the slab.
Sure.
And having them, and on the back of my Dansco page, I'm writing down their grade on each coin.
So I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. You
Sure.
mentioned Teletrade twice. I, as a kid, remember bidding in a Teletrade auction.
Yes.
Just to let people know how easy it is. You can bid on your phone.
Yes.
It's like watching live videos. It's amazing the way you can buy coins these days. Teletrade, what you did is you had a number to dial in on your phone.
Yes.
And you'd actually bid on your phone. You know, how you type in like your account number at a bank, you would type it in like pound meant cents and stuff, and it was like a robotic voice at the other end. And then, you know, maybe even some of the people out there are too young to remember what CDs are, but VCR tapes, Teletrade would send you a tape this big in the mail, like in a shoebox, and they would somehow like video it in a camcorder, probably this big, that went on your shoulder, and they would record coins, some of the highlights.
Yes.
And so that's how an auction was. You plug in a tape, you'd look at the coin being rotated on some camera.
I forgot that part of it, but you're absolutely right. And I've probably got some of those Teletrade
tapes? Oh yeah, okay.
Stored away in a box in my attic somewhere.
I think those are worth something. Everyone, when I tell the story about Teletrade, everyone says, "Do you know anybody with the tape?" So we'll talk about that after this.
I haven't seen them in years.
It's numismatic coin dealer history.
Yes. But I had fun doing that.
Yeah.
But my kids started getting bigger. They started getting in school, and I decided I was going to spend more time with my kids. So I had a Standing Liberty quarter set. I said, you know what I can do? I think I'm going to get out of coins for a while and focus on the family and being home more, because I'm 30, 40 shows a year by then. It's 89 time frame, and my kids are in second grade, third grade. So I said, I need to spend more time at home. So I said, I'm going to sell my Standing Liberty quarter set and pay off my house. So where do I go? To J. Klein. So I take my book. They're all in the Dansco album. I've broken everything out of slabs. So I kept nothing in slabs. Everything's in the Dansco album. I go to Jay. I said, Jay, I got some coins to sell. He said, what you got, Tony? I said, I'm going to sell my set. What do you want for? I want $20,000 for my set. $20,000, Tony, that's a lot of money. I said, I don't think so, Jay. So he opens the book and looks.
You're a very good negotiator too, as well.
He goes through my book and looks at it. He says, do you mind if I cherry pick it? Which means, can I pick the coins I want out of it and price them? I said, you pick the coins you want out of it and write the price out, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So he took the book. He came back the next day, and I didn't have a 16 in it, but I had the overdate in it, and the overdate was ANX papered AU58 full head, harshly clean. It had to have been in uncirculated condition, a magnificent coin.
So it was like the equivalent today of maybe a $250,000 coin that somebody harshly cleaned and turned it into
that's correct.
10% of the value.
That's exactly what it was.
Folks, don't clean your coins.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jay told me, Tony, I've only seen one coin in all my life of the overdate that has a head like this one. It was just perfect.
Can you explain to folks what a full head is on a Standing Liberty quarter?
A full head on a Standing Liberty quarter means that all of the details, the leaves, the hairline, everything is complete and strongly struck, or you can see the details of the face, and it doesn't have any flatness, because the detail of the head often did not fill out the die when they struck the coin. And so you have a flatness across the face. And some of them are so flat that you can't even tell. You only see an outline of a face. But on a full head, you see the full details of the strike of the face.
So it's important. It's definitely very important.
And it's very important. And a lot of the professional standing liberty quarter folk kind of sold the concept that the full head is the way to go. I buy into that partially, but I think you look at the whole coin and not just the head. But I mean, Jay and I had this discussion many times. Tony, only buy full heads. Only buy full heads. I said, Jay, there are nice coins that are not full heads, but they have a full shield. They have the toes of liberty, and the eagle is full. You got to look at the whole coin.
That's just a great. It's great that you recognize that instead of the beautiful thing about our hobby is there's a million different ways to collect
All
coins.
kinds of ways to collect.
And so you heard one perspective on it, and you're like, you know what? I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm going to compromise, and here's why. I mean, you get 90% of the detail without having that designation.
Without having a designation. And you can have a 95% head, which looks to the naked eye like a full head. For a tenth the price
that's a lot of value
of a full head.
It's a lot of value.
And I'm like, why would I pay, say, $200? Why would I not buy the $200 coin that's got a full strike and that's a 65 versus a AU coin with a full head that costs $500?
I'm all for getting 90% of the coin
kind
for
of maximum
20%
value. My background leads me to look for what is the best buy. What is the best? I've got these limited amount of funds. What's the best use of this? And so that's what I kind of balanced, my whole life.
That's a very excellent point. I think as collectors, we are all on budgets. Even if you have $1 billion, you can't buy every coin.
That's right.
You have to pick your spots. And part about picking the coins and the grade, but the nuance is like full head or not. You want to get the most value. You want to get the most coins for your money.
The most coins for my money.
In order to understand that, you got to understand the series you want to approach, and then you start making decisions around that. So it's very good that you recognize.
So I had an interesting experience selling that set to Jay. Jay brought back the set the next day. He had picked out 6 or 7 coins out of the 30 or so coins that I had. And he wrote me a check for $16,000. And I said, Jay, this doesn't make sense. He said, what do you mean? I said, Jay, I offered you the whole set for $20,000, and you buy 6 or 7 coins out of it for $16,000. And he kind of flinches. He said, you're right. That doesn't make any sense. He said, but I've told you this is what I do, and this is what I'll do. I said, well, that's fine. So I sold him $16,000 worth of coins, and then I made another $10,000 on the rest. And so instead of the $20,000 I wanted, I ended up with $26,000, $27,000, $28,000.
You paid off the house. You paid off the mortgage.
Off the house.
Great.
And I put all my coins on hold for probably 10 years or so.
Let's talk about one thing, you moved on from your set there.
So I moved on from my set. I hibernated. I came back in. The internet was rich now with the ability to work from home. And so I started selling a little stuff again, eBay and auctions. And I began to put together a good set of standing liberty quarters. And then I decided in about 2016, with the registry, with the PCGS Set Registry, I'm going to put together a big set. And so that January at the Fun Show, 2016, it just so happened at that same time Jay had passed and his wife had put all his coins in the Heritage auction. So I made some massive buys.
Did you have to sell the house? Did you actually buy them or
no? At that one auction. I mean, I had built up the funding to fund my my
Sure.
buys. And a lot of coins I bought
Sure.
I resold. I bought multiple 17. There were so many standing Liberty quarters in that auction that the prices were lower on the stuff that wasn't at the top because there were so many top coins to pick from.
It's a lot of values in there.
So there was a lot of value buying I did that I just bought the coins and resold them. And then continued to use my sales to fund my next buys. So I began putting together a master registry set.
That's cool. Yeah.
And so I would look at the registry and I would see this set called Just Having Fun.
Sure.
I said, no one will ever beat that set. The set is just off the charts. So I put together my set. I said, but I can kind of compete with the current group
Sure.
that's putting coins together. So I'm edging up, I'm edging up, I'm edging up, I'm edging up. And it's like, coin collecting to me is like a hunt. Some people like to hunt, they like to hunt duck and quail and all that stuff. And when I go to a coin show, that's why I feel like I'm at a hunt.
Yeah.
And I get that rush. So I approach every coin show, and I still go to several coin shows a year. And I will walk, I'll start at row number one, number 100, however, show, and I walk down every row.
You're very methodical. That's a great way to approach it too. That way you get everything covered.
Looking just for standing Liberty quarters. And I did that every show. And so I did it so often that when I would come, now all the dealers know that I'm looking for standing Liberty quarters. So if they have something, they show it to me.
It's like, hey, there's Tony.
Yeah,
Here's what I
there's
got
Tony.
for him.
He's the standing Liberty quarter guy.
Yeah.
But because I'm buying from this dealer and this dealer and this dealer, they don't put together that I'm putting this set together. They just know I like standing Liberty quarters. And so I go through standing Liberty quarters and I build my set, and now I'm running along the top. And I go to a PCGS dealers only show in New Orleans. And to backtrack a little bit, one of the things I discovered that you can't go by mintage on which coins are the hardest to find. In some cases you do, but in some cases you don't. So when I built my set, the last coins I bought, the last coins I hunted for were the 16, which is the lowest mintage, and the overdate. Because though they're the lowest mintages, there's always coins for sale.
Right.
And they're expensive. And so I focused on the 27S. That coin was very difficult to find.
Yeah.
The 26S, the 26S is not even considered a key, but it's very difficult to find.
It's a beast.
Yep, and high grade. The 19D and S, especially the S, the 19, in Jay's book, he talks about the 19D and S as being similar. They're not.
Right.
You can find the Ds. It's hard to find the S. And so I focused on those coins, which I wasn't seeing, because I would go to all these shows, and I said, man, I never see a high-grade 19D. I never see a high-grade 19S. And every now and then, they'll come up with an auction. So I'd never seen a 27S higher than a 65. And I'll just tell this one story because it was interesting, my 27S. I went to a heritage auction. I said, man, they got a 27S in mint state. I had a 65, and I finally bought a 66. And I said, they got a 27S in 67. I've never seen one.
Yeah, that's a real deal.
And they announced during the auction, we haven't sold one of these coins in years. We never offered one for sale. And I look at the price guide, and the price guide says $25,000. And that's a lot of money. And I said, that coin's going to sell for more than that. Because I've never seen one. I've been to every auction.
It's going to bring out a lot of people.
I've never seen one for sale. But everybody's scared of that price guide number. So I said, I've got a chance. If that price guide number scares everybody, I've got a chance at it. So we bid up, and it hits the 25,000 mark. And I said, man, that's more than I want to spend. Let's keep bidding.
Yeah.
So I bid, someone else is bidding, someone else is bidding, someone else is bidding. Now it's $30,000. Wow, we're way over price guide now. I'm bidding, someone else is bidding. So, oh man, we're at $35,000. Man, I'm way over price guide. So the bidding stops with me and one guy, and I back out. And the coin goes for $42,000.
Yeah.
I think that $42,000 bought one of the others out of hiding. And so 2 months later, Heritage had another one.
Wow.
I said, I can't believe this. I go for all these years and I've never seen one, and now I've seen two in 2 months. So I go to the auction. I said, I'm buying this coin. So get in there and we bid, and I'm girded up. I'm ready to go. Come on with your bids.
Yeah. It's like a boxing match.
The price stops at $24,000. I'm like, you're kidding me. So I buy it. It's the one in my set. And 2 years later, it upgrades.
Wow, that's great. So you got the best one.
So I
got
the best one.
That's great.
It's just amazing how things work.
Yeah, they pan out. You're patient.
I kind of see it as God has blessed me with this set. I mean, he really has, because some of the things that's happened, if I described it to you, it's hard to believe.
Things just kind of fall into place somehow. You get lucky.
So I paid these big money on the tough coins. But I'm at the show. Now I'm back to my show in New Orleans. I'm at a PCGS members only show, and I'm walking around, and I see a 1919 Standing Liberty quarter in Mint State 68 plus.
Sure.
I said, my goodness. I asked the dealer, which you know very well.
Who was it?
It was a young guy that I never met before. He had a company called Witter Coins.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, his name was Seth Chandler.
Yeah, okay, I know that guy. Yeah, there
and
you go.
I asked that guy, how much is that coin? And he said, $35,000.
Yeah.
Wow. And I go home, and I can't get that coin out of my mind. And I said, if I ever see that coin again, I'm buying it. So I go to the fun show in January. 2 months go by, go to the coin show in January, and the first place I go is to see if that coin's still for sale.
Gotcha, okay.
And it's for sale, and it's on consignment. And so the owner of the coin is there. So the owner and I negotiate,
exactly. I remember that.
And I buy the coin. And I'm like, this takes me into a whole new arena of looking at coins. So now I'm not just looking for great grades. Now I'm looking for top grades.
Sure.
Because I've broken the barrier. I've paid big money for a common coin,
right?
Which I had never done before. That's why
condition rarity.
Yeah, condition rarity. That was a big money for a 16 and the overdate and a 27S. Yes, but I've paid as much for a 19 as I have for a 27S and 67.
That's great. Yeah, you're losing it then. You're losing it. Yeah, but that's good though. But that's what it is. Yeah.
It's just a realization that this is what the guys that have the great sets have to do.
Just keep going.
So it changes the whole ballgame.
Right.
And so I build from that and build into the set.
Sure, that's good. It's a good story.
A couple of years ago, my set's floating at number one. In the current market, but I've still got Just Having Fun, and I'm putting my binoculars on, and Just Having Fun is still way up there.
Sure, yeah.
You know, I've got one coin, that 19 came out of Just Having Fun set. And I'm looking up there, I said, it's impossible. You can't do it. And so I upgraded coins in my set and gradually passed the Just Having Fun set.
That's cool.
I couldn't believe it was happening. It was happening right in front of my eyes.
Right.
And still, the dealers still know that I'm buying Standing Liberty quarters. Everybody knows the JQ Little set. It's the top set, but nobody knows who JQ Little is.
Yeah. So just to be clear, JQ Little is the name of your registry set.
JQ Little is the name of my registry set. The John Q. Little name came from a high school chemistry teacher that taught with my mother. When my brother and I would come over after school, and we were in middle school, junior high, he would say, "Oh, all the John Q. Littles are here."
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
And so that name stuck with us.
Yeah.
You know, even now I can see Mr. Turk talking about the John Q.
cool.
Littles.
That's cool. Very cool. Tony, it was really a pleasure having you on.
I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, a lot of collectors learned a lot. It's really exciting to see a collector like you just kind of from the ground zero and kind of build the top set.
Yep,
Takes
it's
a
been
long
fun.
time, a lot of dedication. But
It's
yeah,
been
thank
fun.
you. Thank you.